This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
Something devastating has happened, and again, unconfirmed report that a plane has crashed into one of the towers there. We are efforting more information on this subject as it becomes available to you.
My dear Sharon, Maria and Ben, I hope you're all fine and school is going well. How's your new math teacher Maria, and how's football Ben? You like the new shoes mommy bought you? Now I've been in Afghanistan for 1 week, and like the last time, it's not only a challenge for me, but also a good feeling to be here. As a general, I'm now the head of our unit, happy to have great and reliable comrades. The landscape is impressive, as the air base is directly next to the mountains. Next week we're going to take part in several fighter jet exercises to get prepared for the attack on one of the terrorist bases. However, there seems to be no specific danger at the moment. The atmosphere here is tenser than the last base, but the base itself is very comfortable. There are not only barracks, but also so-called Disney Drive with a lot of American shops and restaurants, for example Pizza Hut, so it really feels like home. I miss you very much. Yours, Ryan. My dear Lily, I was really sad today that I couldn't discuss things with you. But John, he turned out to be much worse than I expected him to be, and wouldn't admit it, as usual. Dr. Jerry thinks that it is the war in Afghanistan that diminished the effect of antibiotics, but personally I don't think so. There's more and more I have to ponder every day, but there's still a lot of time left to think about you. And I hope Jenny got used to the letters and stuff of my stories, and please stick to the cards as well. I think it helps her. I'm sure, I'm really sure she'll be okay after another month. Because my holiday is confirmed, so we'll definitely see you before Christmas. And after the photos you sent me, I'm really sad that we can't have you here as a photographer. No, just kidding. But I don't experience any danger at all. They keep the promise of high protection measures for all the doctors. And I must go and speak to Ed and John now, but I'll write you in a couple of days again. I love you both, Lily. Yours, Benjamin.
This is the dress I wanted to wear the next day, because it was my first exhibition, just my photos in the whole hall. So I wanted to be charming. I remember Benjamin sitting at the table and telling me that it's too bright, too colorful, but I really liked it, and Jenny too, obviously. Yeah, but later that evening, his snooze came.
He stood there, exactly over there, with this bottle of champagne in his hand, and he was smiling at me so warmly and brightly that I thought something good must have happened. I thought of his brother becoming a father, or his cousin going to university.
He told me that he was sent on a mission to Afghanistan as a doctor for 1 year. Maybe Benjamin was right that I shouldn't be too shocked, because as a member of an army, he would go one day, that's for sure. But I just didn't expect it so soon.
But I didn't think of him going to Afghanistan again. Not in 1 month, not in 30 days. I was a very bad actor, and he immediately saw that I didn't share his enthusiasm.
I couldn't believe that they can send him for 1 year when they know that he has got a 2-year-old daughter at home. It just seemed to me unfair. They must have other people to go. Like, how can they tear families here in England to be able to help elsewhere, but because they are themselves responsible for the danger there. It's just unfair.
But then he reminded me of the mission we have and of our goal, defending freedom, defending our democracy and our safety. And when I saw him that convinced and that proud of being part of that mission, all of my admiration, all of my love for this man came back.
Benjamin was excited about it. He always wanted to help people, and he wasn't scared. He told me it's not dangerous, but I couldn't share his excitement at all, because I couldn't imagine how to tell Jenny, how to explain Jenny that he's just gone. For her, it would be as if we already lost him.
Then, at the same time, this fear never goes away. This terrible fear when I switch on television or when I switch on the radio and waiting for the news and always thinking that the next bomb attack might strike him. This terrible fear of losing my husband and of losing the father of our children. It never goes away.
I just felt that he cared about all the people all over the world, but he didn't care about us too at home, about his own family. But, of course, when I calmed down, I knew that he did care. But that night, I just couldn't imagine living without him, waking every morning and telling Jenny, your father is not here, he's not going to come soon. So I didn't wear the dress the next day. I felt like wearing something black instead. Couldn't imagine wearing a flowered dress.
Then we just drank this bottle of champagne and for me with those mixed feelings.
My dear Sharon, how are the children and how are you? I was so proud of you when I could read in your last letter that you're elected co-chair of our local Tories. So we both represent and fight for the values of democracy, don't we? I was in charge of 3 attacks last week. We were supposed to strike one of the most dangerous terrorist leaders. But unfortunately, we hit women and children leaving the mosque instead. This is the price of war, isn't it? It's all part of it. The death of civilians and of my fellows. Like Martin's death you might have heard about in the news. We're really honored to be able to fight against terrorism and keep the world a safe place for us and our children. And I don't want you to be worried, and I'm really sure I'm coming home for Christmas. Just Martin's death makes me a bit melancholic these days. Whatever happens, I want you and the children to know that I love you. Yours, Brian. My dear Lily, today's one of these days. I'm constantly thinking of you. I miss the discussions with you, your hugs and your kisses and the way you're laughing. Although I've been here now for more than half a year, I still struggle with the attitude of the majority of the soldiers. They're so proud of our mission without even considering the death that bring not only to terrorists but also to local people. Yesterday, our Air Force bombed the village where terrorists were expected. 10 civilians, mainly women and children, died while the terrorists were missed. And there are these soldiers coming to the hospital talking proudly about their unit and the impressive golden cloud over the dead bodies. Sometimes I wonder how they can be proud of their actions and how I can be proud of mine. Although I'm only a doctor and not a soldier. But it helps me to assist Dr. Jari with teaching the Afghan doctors, and today I think this is definitely the only way to justify that I'm here. I remember your thoughts and your skepticism concerning the whole mission, and more I share the feeling that we destroy more than we build up. But how are you, darling, and how's Jenny? Did she receive a place in nursery school for the next summer? With love, yours, Benjamin.
For the attack, Unit 3, led by Ryan Charlson, and Unit 5, led by Robert Dixon, are needed. For the mission, also Dr. Louis Johnson and Dr. Benjamin Hobbs are due to leave the base.
going from the British military base of Akrotiri can be heard for miles around.
1.5 months after the kidnapping of hundreds of schoolgirls in northern Nigeria.
And you talked about the intelligence issue here. How much do you think that is a sign that the intelligence has gotten
We've been
better?
fighting there for so long, but the problem is it's fragmentary, and you have to get lucky.
And that sparked a massive police hunt. And
seated on the ground in Syria, surrounded by weapons, issuing a chilling message to fellow Muslims back home.
Mass murder would be given that kind of...
for that, and it simply states that convicts, even terrorists,
Al-Kobani's defenders have waters of their own to fire back at ISIS, whose tenacity in the cities.
Dr. Benjamin Hobbs, 32, William Moore, 26, Ethan Hold, 42, Michael Chaplin, 28, Alexander Bishop, 35, Matthew Elliott, 29, David Baker, 24, Daniel Franklin, 34, Logan Jackson, 26, Anthony Young, 22, Mason Thompson, 29, Jacob Miller, 42, Noah Cunningham, 27, Ryan Charlson, 37.